Pero wait a minute, may mga, like Jesse Robredo was there, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, so how were they reacting? Lalo na pag yung ganung idea came out na
he was,
nahuhuli ata yung leaders.
He was quite open, and I think to the credit of Jesse, he really knows how to, and he's a people's person, no?
Secretary Jesse was there, Secretary Hill de los Reyes of Agrarian Reform was also there. Si Dinky confirmed, but I think because of demands of the office at that time.
You were asked for like workable proposals, no? That was the word, no?
Two levels. One were practical proposals, and the other level was, well, dream away.
Okay, let's do the practical muna. Okay.
Pero yung dream away, I just wanted to qualify. These are possibilities that can actually be actionable agenda. So even if it's a dream away, there is a sense that it can be done. For example, somebody said, and he's an indigenous people representative, and he says, at the end of 25 years, I want to drink Pasig River water.
Okay.
It's a dream, but it's not as though it's a pie in the sky,
That's very concrete, di ba?
Ngayon pa lang hindi.
Pwede naman gawin yun kung merong
Well, they did it in Singapore.
Yeah.
In, I think a decade and a half, they
same,
were able to bring back.
The same.
Yeah, Well, dreaming because you make it the objective.
In other words,
I mean, it's not just a dream.
It's not just a dream.
Begin with the end in mind, di ba?
Yeah,
the end in mind is
that's what planning is all about, di ba?
Right.
And then you
go back.
The science and the money might not be there, but it will be there.
It will be there.
One of the things that came out very, very strongly was a public media, public television sort of.
You talked about.
Lumitaw yun ng napakalakas.
Cross-media culture na.
Yes, as a matter of fact, just to get all of the social networking interconnected with some kind of very responsible, very. You know, how media is the de facto Department of Education. So, wrest it back from...
be a little more direct. Go ahead.
Well, we don't only engage government, we also engage the media.
Yes.
We want media to actually help promote a vibrant Filipino culture that sustains and heals its genes. No?
Yeah. Parang it's like we want to see the Apo Hiking Society on noontime television. No? For someone like you. Parang ganon, ano? Wholesome.
Well, we wanted media to sort of think that way. I mean, personally, I think media is too commercial. It's way, way too commercial. That, we have to rethink that. I mean, in other countries, you can actually sit through a television, have an evening of television, and really be engaged and be challenged and really feel.
Wait, there were journalists and media practitioners there. How did they react to that?
They were right in the middle of that. Yes, they were.
Well, actually, the way to look at it is, it can be commercially, blockbuster, but at the same time critically acclaimed.
Right.
I mean, if it can be done that way, then if you can imagine it that way.
No dumbing down, di ba? No dumbing down on the audience. Wala yung talagang parang very exploitative, so stuff like that.
Because if you already know that the repayment rate of our poor is 99%, then you've got to give some trust and respect for that majority. And that can be translated into the way you perceive the viewing public.
We might be misreading the audience, Now we think that that's what they want. Okay, we'll have to take a short break. Strictly Politics, we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Strictly Politics. Who was that? Still with us, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Jim Paredes, Marian Pastor Roses, and Mark Ruiz. So you're asked workable proposals, and then, of course, there was that question about your dreams, no?
Yeah.
So, Jim, you start.
Okay, let's fire away.
Yeah.
In 25 years, 80% middle class.
Great. Yeah.
In 5 years, 40% forest cover is back. 50%.
5 years.
In 25 years.
25 years.
50% coral reef. Military and civilians hardly meet because they're in the barracks, because there's already no more domestic conflict. No? Wala nang gera sa loob ng ating bansa. Ano pa ba yung sabi? Oh, this is very cute. Sabi nung isa, I would like to be a grandfather and take my grandchild to a poverty museum.
A poverty museum.
It's already in the past.
Wala nang poverty eh.
Okay.
Did people really live like that? Nakikita mo sa poverty. So that was quite inspiring. You know, one may say, well, medyo impossible yata yun, but you know what? That's a nice vision to hold, di ba? So,
yung group na yun yung nanalo ng presentation.
Kaninong grupo yun?
Sina Leon, sino ba yun?
Sila Dr. Alip.
Oh, here's another good one. Here's another good one.
Group.
This guy who said this had an NGO and said, I would like my NGO totally disbanded because we don't need it anymore, because government actually delivers.
Wow. What NGO was that?
Transparency.
Si Vince Lazatin.
No more, no need for...
What was yung dream mo, ikaw mismo?
Ako, a vibrant culture, so distinct, so unique, and so proactive that we are as distinct as the Japanese, the Americans, the Chinese. In other words, ang art natin talagang distinctly Filipino, and people know it's Filipino, not just a charis who sings American songs, but we actually contribute to the software of the world, not the hardware na magaling tayo kumanta, you know what I mean? And we've become an intellectual giant in the world. In other words, great ideas come from the Philippines.
Okay, Mark, what is the dream?
My dream is happiness and prosperity for every Filipino, and I guess it's
Happy Noy.
It's Happy Noy, obviously. But kasi parang just the phrasing and picking the words carefully. Because happiness and prosperity, not just wealth. I mean, you know, a lot of rich people who aren't happy, so true happiness and prosperity. Of
prosperity
course,
is very different from wealth.
Prosperity is certainly different. And for me, every single Filipino, I really resonated with the Poverty Museum. So that's close to where I am as well.
Okay, and Marian, your dream?
Well, I really think that 5% on top, the leadership, let's call it a class, do not at the moment understand the rest of the 95%, and that is across the board in terms of what they're articulating through various languages in the Philippines. I really wish that in 25 years we will be able to do that there is a deeper understanding of the majority by the people who lead. I'd really like for that to happen.
Okay, and you, Senator Kiko, your dream?
Well, double-digit growth for like maybe a decade into 25 years. 80% conviction rates, criminal cases. And then our farmers and our fisher folk are well off. May kaya na. You know, sa Malaysia, yung mga sinasabi nga nila, yung problema daw ng farmers doon 5 years old na daw yung kanyang pick-up. So,
yun ang
time to change.
At least may pick-up siya.
Oo nga. 5 years old. 5 years old na nga. Masama na loob niya. So dapat in 25 years, ganun din ang problema ng farmers natin at
Fernand Bacani put it another way. Sa group namin, sabi niya, the farmers stay where they are because government service reaches them. They don't have to go to Manila. Nobody goes to the cities anymore because they like the fresh air out there. That would be great.
Sharon and I will be the first to go to the, because of the pollution.
Was there some sort of like a pact or, at the end of the conference, this is what we're going to do?
No.
There was an energy. There was an energy, and I think we all understood from that energy that we were all going to be in touch with each other. Immediately, people want us to do this in Mindanao and in Cebu, perhaps, get this national conversation going. Because really, all of us should actually start thinking in these long terms, a longer horizon. Because if we keep to our nose to the grindstone, then we lose a lot of opportunity.
Also, speaking of opportunity, and losing it, I never thought I'd come to this point in my life wherein I would say 25 years happened so fast. But that's just half the story.
1980. Kailan lang 1986?
But that's just half the story. The other half of the story is, if you think the last 25 years happened so fast, the next 25 years will be even faster. So we don't have the luxury of time. We have to think long term. We have to be able to put in place today, the necessary, efforts, so that by 25 years, when it happens, and it will happen so fast, at least kahit paano, nagawa na natin ang paraan.
Boldness, vision.
Also the dangers. Like I said earlier about the scale of what we're facing. We're fighting, for example, about certain territories in Mindanao. With climate change, if you factor that in, the land that we are fighting over actually may not be land. It may actually be water. So if you don't think in terms of 25 years, we're fighting over something that may not even be there. So, you know, this time frame is actually really absolutely important because of the scale of the problem.
Yeah, okay. Napag-usapan rin exactly what it is each of you will be doing in your own field. Parang, meron bang ganon?
We did. Well, there was a nod. There were things that meron din kaming exercise now within the next 3 years. What can you do now that will sort of give you momentum for the next 25 years? So we thought of things like that. In our group, we said, somebody said, all of this environmental stuff and all of this sustainable development stuff, actually the law already exists. It's really just the implementation of it. And somebody said, we should really list down and present to the president as urgent the following laws on environment and sustainability and everything. That already exists. Na talagang hindi lang talaga pinapansin ngayon, di ba? You know, I mean, busy lahat yan, di ba?
But that's kind of tricky, yung implementation, di ba? Kasi we always say, implementation, yung government should enforce the laws. But what is our role?
We will help. I mean, that's
we
exactly,
will be.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And one of the people in our group, si Tony Oposa, is actually doing that. He has some projects going on in Cebu yata, where he will bring up these laws that nobody seems to is minding, and he will say, I'm calling you on this, you know?
I think when the question of what do we do, no? And this is what one of the inputs that I said. I've been in the Senate almost 10 years this year. I'll be 10 years this year. And in the culture of our politics, you know, given the culture of our politics today, and I said this, if you leave the politicians alone to push for reforms, it's never going to happen. You know, the people will have to come in. The people will have to engage through their organizations, demanding of our politicians and engaging our politicians.
Is that how we'll keep you honest?
Definitely, definitely. It ultimately, you know, sabi nga nila, ultimately, the people demanding from government, demanding from their public servants, you know, the service that they deserve. That's how things are going to change. And this is how the president won. The people demanded change. When we were in Malacanang for the LP anniversary, and I shared this with the president and the other members of the party, I said, you know, we're talking about solutions for the country's problems. You know, the people are capable of finding solutions. And this is my take, no? When they saw May 2010 coming, and they wanted to solve the problem of bad governance, they said, you know, the President Noy is the solution. We need somebody with integrity. So the people decided. The people saw that as the solution, and they went for it. So our people are capable of seeking solutions and acting towards solving problems.
And good judgment.
So, excellent judgment. Before the parties actually chose Noy.
The people had chosen.
Didn't see it coming.
But the challenge really is to continue to get, you know, that engagement going, that positive, constructive engagement going, so that you know, people, because it's never going to be top down, neither is it going to be bottom up. It has to be both. It has to be bottom up and top down for us. See, FBR had the Bibingka principle. So and I agree
what
with
is the
him
principle now?
Well, leaders who are committed, who are vision-driven and results-oriented, together with the people who are, you know, who are fed up and want better.
But if the administration is responsive to this?
Yes. The president supported the forum. He knew about it. In fact, he sent Butch to deliver his message. And Butch said, you know, let's work out something wherein representatives of the organization or the, you know, reimagining conveners or representatives of the group can have an audience with the president.
The other thing that I'd like to mention is that we're establishing the Pinoy Power Institute.
That's right.
So that
People Power Institute.
Pinoy Power, because we were thinking.
Pinoy spelled what?
P-I-N
or P-I?
No, P-I-N-O-I.
Okay.
Mainly because the People Power has some baggage that we also don't want to carry also, the old People Power. Because whatever happens to what people talk about as a result of this conversation, and if it needs actionable agenda, then may sasalo na secretariat. So at least may secretariat na
to follow you up.
To follow it up.
Yeah. Kanina in the makeup room, somebody said parang ano yung word yun? Parang you're also happy about the conference.
Very high.
Very high, no, about it. Kaya lang, some cynical people might say, yeah, we're always like that, we're high about something, or, how do we make sure that this is not going to just
I've been an activist since 1980s. It's been 20 plus years.
Tumanda na tayo.
But somebody's got to do it. We happen to be in a position to do something about it, and we're just going to keep at it.
Yeah.
And for me, bottom line is, this is what my children deserve.
Yeah.
I cannot betray my children or abandon them or leave them to their
and
own.
I guess we're in a better position now than before, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have that microfinance, for example, etc.
To express it poetically,
Yeah.
I read something in the internet, hindi ko alam ang source, pero sabi niya, there is a dream dreaming us. In other words, tayo panaginip ng ibang tao. Wala tayong autonomy, di ba? It's time we really dream our own dreams. Tayo talagang, it's our future. Wag na natin, we're not part of a big scheme that's run by somebody. It's time we run it. Parang ganun yung tingin ko.
Okay.
In the same way that, in the last election, people were saying, I'm not going to allow the politicians to decide where this country is going to go.
Yeah.
They're not going to decide the future of my children. I will decide it. That's what the people were saying in 2010, and that's my reading. That they're sick and tired of the old ways. They're looking for new things. They're looking for different approaches. They're looking for solutions. And they're saying, I am part of the solution, and I'm not going to allow some abusive, arrogant public official to tell me that this is the future for my children. No way. And that's the beauty of people standing up and deciding enough is enough. We're going to move things towards a new direction.
Okay. There was a tweet from Dean George Bocobo, tweets of Sagada's son. He said, I like the indigenous dream mentioned by Marian, to be able to drink the water of the Pasig in 25 years.
Thank you, Deanie.
Okay, final words, Marian Pastoro.
Well, I really appreciated the fact that all of the participants were not pie-in-the-sky thinkers. They can dream big, they can dream crazy, but they actually have a fairly good idea how it can get done. So I rest my hope on that. These are very practical and very pragmatic people, but dreamers nonetheless. So maganda yung kombinasyon eh.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I think,
Mark?
I mean, I mentioned it earlier, but Filipinos were used to thinking about tomorrow, next day. Matlayo na yung next year eh. So again, let's start really thinking about a longer horizon. It's the only way we can really progress. If we're only thinking about tomorrow, we'll just keep on taking incremental steps. But think about the moonshot. Think about that where the science does not yet exist. But let's go for that. Or else we won't go we won't take a quantum leap forward. So
Okay.
Longer horizon.
Thank you, Jim.
It's time we had really bigger plans for ourselves, di ba? Dapat hindi tayo kuripot sa panaginip, di ba? Hindi tayo kuripot sa ambisyon, hindi tayo kuripot sa kung anong gusto natin mangyari. I mean, we don't have that time anymore. And we have to inspire ourselves. We have to be the fire and breath of our own momentum.
Okay.
Sa akin importante 'yun.
Thank you. Senator Kiko?
Well, I'm 47. So in 13 years, I'll be 60. And that's about retirement age already. It's the next generation's turn. So now is the time to really think about change, and now is the time to really look, to the future and decide where we want the country to go, and how more importantly, how do we intend to get there. And again, I'll go back.